Good. A pleasant good evening, everyone. As usual, first of all, I need to apologize because yesterday, due to circumstances beyond my control, we weren't able to have our usual Sunday evening question and answer. Okay, so I apologize for that. So we're gonna do a little making up today. I decided to do this program, so we'll go a little later than normal. This is our regular hormonal imbalance, hormonal disruption program. So this program is going to apply to any and everyone who has problems associated with hormonal imbalance in the body. So whether you're dealing with things like, polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, adenomyosis, infertility, even women who have reached the age or a point in their life where they have gone through menopause, because we also deal with postmenopausal women. So that whole aspect of hormonal imbalance in the body as it relates to females. Now, we also deal with hormonal imbalance with men, right? Because even though it is not something that is regularly discussed, even though it is something that a lot of individuals don't really know about per se, it does play a crucial role in the life of a lot of men, especially when you start to lose your hair, when your male pattern baldness, for example, is a perfect example of that situation. Because men who have male pattern baldness are men who have hormonal imbalance, their testosterone levels. When you look at things like they have problems with adrenal fatigue and various issues associated with the endocrine system or endocrine imbalance. So when we're speaking about hormonal imbalance, we're really discussing hormonal imbalance in both men and women. We focus more on women, however. Of course, if a man asks a question, I will touch on some aspects of hormonal imbalance in men. But primarily, you find when we're dealing with hormonal imbalance, we target a lot of women simply because the problem is more frequent. And, women have a tendency, they take better care of themselves than men. They tend to be a little more proactive as opposed to be reactive. Excuse me. So that's where the discussion is going to go this evening. Keep in mind our locations and telephone numbers. So we do have the banner on the live there at the bottom there. You will see it, and you could of course take advantage of those telephone numbers and locations. Keep in mind that Shagonas actually has some open clinic days this week, as well as coming on to the end of the month. And we usually have, keep in mind that you can come to Batson and Associates, and anyone who's a consultant would be able to assist you, right? The executive consultant, which is myself, would only come into that scenario depending on the severity of your matter. But I'm saying that to say that it is almost basic that any consultant at Batson and Associates would be able to help you, give you sufficient advice. Keep in mind those specials that we're having for our blood analysis and magnetic resonance analysis. That entire executive consultation package is something that we have, and we actually have it for returning clients. So those of you who may have been clients of Batson and Associates before, and you came to us, you got good results, and you didn't come back for a while, but you are still mindful of remaining healthy. You're still mindful and want to maintain good health. You don't want to go back to where you were before you came to us. You don't want to go back to what I want to say, boy. What I want to say to the basic stage of how badly off you were with all the blood pressure and the diabetes or whatever the case may be. Because you have a lot of persons who would come, they would get a lot of results, and you find that you need a top up, or you need to do some preventative maintenance, that type of thing. Okay, so you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. This evening, we're talking about hormonal imbalance in females. I know a lot of individuals would be up, some of you getting, ironing clothes, or, just looking at television or taking a rest or something like that. So keep in mind the walk-in clinic days that we have for Shagonas this week. I would be in those clinics, all of them. So tomorrow, please God, so you can get an appointment at Batson Associates tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Tuesday is what day? Tuesday is the 17th. So that is actually the 17th, also on the 18th, as well as, yes, and the 18th. Good, so you could take advantage of that. That's tomorrow, please God, and the 18th. And of course, you could also pay attention to Debe, which is going to be the 27th and the 28th of September. So those of you in the Debe area, South area, could actually take advantage of that clinic. And of course, the telephone numbers are there for you, 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314, that's 314-9975. Again, 314-9975 or 222-8261. So as I said, I missed that live last night, and I apologize for that. I know we usually have a lot of persons on that Sunday evening question and answer, but as I said, circumstances beyond my control did not allow me to come and do that program for you. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Mary Elizabeth, as well as Tintin Julian. Good night, good evening to you both. In addition to that, we also have our integrative diabetic clinic, you know, very, very important. That clinic is one that is designed to assist diabetics. So if you know someone who's a diabetic, and it's basically where Western medicine meets a holistic approach. Because so you know, I always tell persons, in order to be treated properly, you need to be treated in from both aspects, both the Western aspect as well as holistic healing. And that is one of the foremost aspects of what we actually do at Batson and Associates. So, you know, take full advantage of that. Utilize the telephone numbers. Miss Sinata Williams says, good night. I need help with my sinus. The thing is, so let me touch on sinus. When you have problems with sinus, what it basically means is that your sinuses, which is located here, so usually you will have to deal with what is known as a ENT specialist, ears, nose, and throat. So people with sinus, the sinus cavities in this part of the brain, the body, the cerebral hemisphere, they're primarily blocked up. So you have pipelines that are not open, and as a result of that, you have sinus, or what is referred to as sinusitis. So it is an inflammatory or chronic inflammation of the sinuses. How do you fix that? Normally, they would give you antibiotics. In some instances, they would recommend some steroids. So people, especially because asthma and sinusitis and lungs and all those kind of go hand in hand because they are connected. So in a case like that with sinus, the first thing you need to do, Sinata Williams, is if you use dairy, you need to stop. You need to rest it for a little bit. So if you use things like milk, cheese, butter, stop it completely. Good. And then the next thing is to actually deal with the chronic inflammation in the sinuses. Now at Batson Associates, there are a few things we carry for that. Before I get into those, what I would recommend is that you know the neti pots that they have, where you could actually use the neti pot to actually clean. So you need to clean your nostrils, so you can actually do that pot where you actually rinse out or do the nasal rinses. That will help you as well. But from a long-term perspective and dealing with it from its root cause or the holistic cause, what you're going to have to do, because what it is, you have chronic infections in the sinus. So those chronic infections, ended up causing chronic inflammation. And because of the chronic inflammation, you have sinus problems, which is why people like the Sahara dust, so if you smell certain types of perfumes or certain deodorants or certain things that you might use with your clothes, scents on the whole, it can irritate it, aggravate it, or cause a flare-up because of the high levels of inflammation that it has there. Okay, silver with mineral formula, definitely going to give you a help with that. What you're going to also be able to use as well, there's a product that we carry, which is the inflammation formula. I know we are a bit low on that product. St. James actually has in stock, but I know Shagonas and David doesn't have any right now. Tobago got, or they actually have to get as well. So the inflammation formula, the silver with mineral formula, and there's a tea that we carry, which is a lungs tea, which is designed to clear the lungs, clear the sinuses, that type of thing. And if you do that consistently over a period of time, Miss Sonata Williams, then you would have a much easier life. But you cannot use dairy and have sinus. Dairy adds inflammation or inflammation to the body. So milk, cheese, butter. Watch your sugar intake as well. Look at your water intake. You should be consuming your body weight divided by 2 ounces in water. I always tell persons that. All right. So it's very important that you look at your water intake. You should stop cold water if you do use it. No cold water. Right. And as I said, those products, the silver with mineral formula, inflammation formula, the anthocyanin complex is also a very good product as well, because that actually helps to clean and it helps to reduce inflammatory response in the body. Okay, so I hope I answered your question there. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. The telephone numbers that you can call for any one of those locations are the ones that you see there, which is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. What is a good thing to do to, as I said, that special that we're having, those of you who would have been clients of Batson and Associates actually getting that package where you get your blood analysis, your consultation, and your foot detox. And that is for a significantly reduced price. So you could call the offices and get the information regarding that. Okay, Ms. Kathy Samaru, a pleasant good night to you. Ms. Wendy Andrew, good night. Ms. Maureen Toll. Rosemary Bishop says, good night, Dr. Batson. Good seeing you, viewing from Brooklyn, New York. Yes, I missed that session last night. Glad to see you were able to make it tonight. Yes, my dear. Ms. Sanata Williams said, okay, thanks. I will keep in contact with the Chaguanas branch. Okay, great. Good. So one of the things too as well, so keep in mind, we have a few products that we're actually having promotion for this month. I don't know if you are aware, but September is actually the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, right? September, you're very welcome, Ms. Andrew. So September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So, you know, I mean, when you hear people talk about suicide, a lot of individuals don't understand that we have people out there who have serious depression problems, which we deal with quite successfully at Batson and Associates, by the way. Everyone who has come for us for problems associated with depression, we were actually able to help them. If you have, and I tell persons, I challenge them, anyone, any individual who has problems with sleep and you're serious, now listen to the criteria that you have to follow. You have to be serious. You can come to Batson and Associates. I guarantee you, we're going to help you with that sleeping problem. But you have to listen and take what we recommend for you. Because I'll tell you something. When your central nervous system is under attack, it is one of the systems that require a lot of work. It's just like your kidneys. When you see your kidneys start to give problems in anatomy and physiology, in holistic medicine, integrative medicine, we learn and you understand based on your knowledge of anatomy and physiology that certain organ systems are harder to fix or bring about healing as opposed to others. And the central nervous system is one. So people who suffer from things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson, insomnia, depression, mental breakdown. So if you had a nervous breakdown, you require some work, you require some time to fix. Now, people who have problems with sleep, that's easy. I fixing that with my 2 hands tied behind my back, blindfold and all. We could do that. However, if you are on medication and you have been on medication for years, you have some work to do. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to fool you. I'm not going to, because it means you would have interfered with your brain chemistry. Because that is essentially what sleeping tablets do. They interfere with your brain chemistry. So in interfering with your brain chemistry, they actually alter a lot of things in the body. When you have to fix back that situation, then it means that it requires some work. And same with the kidneys. We are also, one of the things we're going to have as well is our integrative kidney center. And we will be actually helping persons who may have been told that they have to go on dialysis, you know, or pre-dialysis. You might be a stage 4, stage 5 kidney. We could help you in that situation. Those programs are very vigorous, or are rigorous, I should say rather, in terms of the protocol, because your kidney is an organ that tends to, when it is giving problems, it requires a lot of attention, it requires a lot of work, it requires a lot of care. Let me put it like that. It requires a lot of care. So those of you who have been told that you need to go on dialysis, now if you are on dialysis already, we can help you in the sense that we can improve your symptomology. So if you're a diabetic and you're on dialysis reading naturally, if you are hypertensive, we can actually improve the blood pressure. So we can help persons who are on dialysis, but your protocol is a little more tailored. We are very careful with those protocols because you are now dialyzing. And I don't know if you really understand what dialysis is. It essentially takes over or attempts to take over the body's ability to the body takes over that ability to really clean the blood. So you essentially have to 3 times a week go on a machine to actually clean your blood. So what that means is that it's going to actually pull blood out of your body, carry it into a machine, clean it, and then put it back into your body. That is a very tiresome, stressful situation to deal with. So that's something that you need to pay very close attention to. Okay, guys? Pay very close attention to that. So those of you with kidney problems, those of you who have hypertension issues as well, you can feel free to give us a call, give us a visit as regards to that. Thank you very much for the compliment, Miss Mary Elizabeth. Yeah, I actually had to do some work with them. I actually need to go and do a LOX detox in a little while, but I try to maintain them as best as I can. And of course, that has a lot to do with the diet as well. Keep in mind, those individuals, Mr. Sheldon Ameta, a blessed night to you, sir. Miss Donna Howell, she says, good evening and watching from Canada. Great. Good. So we're discussing hormonal disruption in women. And one of the symptomology associated with menopause or post-menopause. So let's get our terminology down correct. If we're speaking about premenopause, premenopause is before you actually go through menopause. So it could be a few years or a few months before menopause, you can experience various symptomology like the ones I'm going to describe or mention in a bit. Going through menopause, you could also experience some of the symptomology as well. And now post-menopause, which is after menopause, long after you would have gone through menopause, you could actually have post-menopausal issues. So that's, I want you to understand that you could actually have hormonal disruption before menopause, during menopause, and long after menopause. So keep that in mind. Good. So what are some of the symptomology we're speaking about? Depression. What is depression? If you were to ask someone, or I were to ask you on the live, what is depression? If you were to explain that to me, what would you say? Tell me. We need to look in the dictionary. All right. So you want, first to begin with, you have different stages and different levels of depression. You have what is known as functional depression, which a lot of persons suffer from. So they're depressed, but they could function. They will go to work. They might be the most joyous person on the job. They may not necessarily be an outgoing person. They may not necessarily be what is referred to as a extrovert. They don't go out of the way to make conversation, but they could function. They will go to work, they will talk to people, they'll do what they have to do, and they just leave. But they're depressed. And then depression, when it varies in stages, when it begin to get very bad, then it reaches a stage where you don't want to go out, you don't want to leave your room, you don't want to leave your house. In some cases, you don't want to bathe, you don't want to eat. You really don't feel good about yourself and good about your surroundings. And in cases like that, it can actually reach a point where it can now interfere with your mental, and you could reach a point where you could think about or commit suicide. As I said before, September is actually National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month along there. And of course, it's to bring awareness to mental health. A lot of people do not know that mental health is a serious thing. I think in the Caribbean, we don't really pay as much attention to mental health or give it the seriousness of concern or attention as we should give it. Right? A lot of people take mental health, they don't really take it serious because they don't understand that mental health is one, a sickness, And two, it is something that needs to be addressed. You know, there are a lot of people walking around here who looking happy and good with themselves, and then it's because you're here, they commit suicide, which I think is one of the worst things a human being could actually do, where you could actually do harm and kill yourself. I mean, it ain't no coming back after you kill yourself. You know? I mean, unless you're looking at, you know, believing in God and resurrection and that type of thing. We don't know about immediate or close to immediate. That's it. You die. Your family going to miss you. You're not going to be here to function and do what you need to do for who you need to do it for, right? So it is a serious thing, and I mean mental health on the whole. Hence the reason why I decided to do these lives on a Monday, where we deal with hormonal disruption. So mental health challenges is one of the most serious concerns associated with mental health with females. Okay, so depression, anxiety, insomnia, we can help with all of that. We do actually have a clinic where we do an integrative hormonal clinic or an integrative endocrine clinic, and that integrated endocrine clinic deals with things like hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. It also addresses problems with thyroid nodules, problems with issues associated with estrogen, progesterone. So women who have problems with infertility. Do you know that in order for a female to get pregnant, she has to have a certain amount of what's the word I'm looking for, boy? It is a certain amount of hormones must be present in a particular amount. So that is also something to pay very, very close attention to as it relates to that situation with hormonal disruption in the body. So pay very close attention to yourself. As I said, insomnia is a serious aspect of that, because with insomnia, you find that your mental health begins to seriously deteriorate. How long do you think you can not sleep before you think you start to go out of your mind? How much sleep do you think you can miss? I know there are a number of persons rather, who do not sleep well. They do not sleep well at all. They toss, they turn. There are some persons, you go to bed, you sleep, but when you get up, it's as if it is you need 10 hours of sleep again, or still, because the body, the sleep was not restorative. It didn't help to really do what it was supposed to do, which is to really replenish neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are very important aspects of the central nervous system. Very important. So things like those neurotransmitters, things like epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin. Remember, these things have to actually send messages across that whole synaptic system in the body. So if your neurotransmitters, if those little workers are not functioning as they should, then you're going to have serious mental, psychological, emotional issues, to the point where you could actually think about hurting yourself. And that is why, as I said, September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So it's very important that you pay close attention to that and ensure that you do the needful and the necessary in order to do well. Miss Elizabeth Nandla, pleasant evening. She says 24 hours without sleep and I will enter a different planet, Doc. LOL. I totally agree with you. I've had people who came to me who didn't sleep for 7 and 10 days. I had people who came to me. There's this lady who I dealt with some time ago. She said she wasn't sleeping for 20 years. How could you not be having proper sleep for 20 years? I would have done make a jail already, because I wouldn't have been able to deal with people and the nonsense. I had a trip on somebody. So imagine you're not sleeping, or you're not enjoying or getting proper sleep. And that is something that we could correct at Batson and Associates. So, you know, get those numbers, check out. We're going to be putting a lot of information in the near future, or the very near future, regarding a lot of our new clinics that we have now. Keep in mind the integrative diabetic clinic is one. We also have the integrative cardiovascular clinic, the integrative musculoskeletal clinic, and all of these will be, of course, powered by Batson and Associates. You know, our years of experience with dealing with clients in these various issues, and these various issues has really helped us to put together protocols that are effective, protocols that would actually give you the results that you want. Now, when you're looking at supplementation and the importance of supplementation in the body, it is vital that you understand what supplementation is, you understand what nutrition is. That's the problem. A lot of persons are malnourished. We have a lot of information now, which is good, but it could be bad because we have a lot of people now on the internet telling you this good, that good. And these people have no experience or training in anything. They're just trying to sell something, which is quite unfortunate, because when you do things like that, and if you don't know what you're doing, like I know a lot of persons talking about cleansing. There is rules to detoxify, and you can't just go and take. There are a lot of persons who went and did detox, and they had to come to Batson and Associates first to fix them. You know why? Because the detox that they were doing, or the instructions that they were following, was incorrect. You can go and do a detox and seriously damage yourself if you don't know what you're doing. But we have never had that problem at Batson and Associates. I could count on my hands how many persons we had that came to us that actually had problems when they used the Santulan. Anyone who had problems while they were using Santulan, and I'll explain to you what Santulan is just now, is because they didn't listen to the instructions that they were given. Santulan is a simple product to use. What is Santulan? Santulan is a 7-channel detox. What are the 7 channels that Santulan helps to detox? Your kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. I'll say it again. Kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So if you're taking a detox, or you're going to embark on a detox of that magnitude, you have to be hydrated. That's one of the first things. So what is your water intake? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of persons would be selling things, and it's not me trying to put sand in anybody's rice or dirty anybody's water or anything like that. I applaud people who are ambitious and who do certain things to help themselves, but not at the detriment of persons. You have to know with supplements, and that's why sometimes naturopathic doctors and doctors of natural medicine and holistic medicines sometimes get a bad rap because of the other delinquent people that they have. You have to know what you're doing. Botanicals, which is something I have studied in depth at the highest level, is very effective and efficient. There are measurements, there are dosages to anything, but a lot of people don't understand that. And that's the thing with Batson and Associates. Batson and Associates is an organization of trained consultants, clinicians, therapists in integrative medicine. So we understand what we're doing. We wouldn't just tell you to take a clean out just like that. Now, there are products that you could buy from us, you could just walk in and buy, but we always open to a consultation and a discussion, which we offer at quite a reasonable price, because everything has an economic consequence. Miss Elizabeth Snandland says, Doc, I often wonder about those teas on the shelves that are labeled as detox teas. I can swear by Santulan. Yeah, because there are a lot of teas, there are a lot of things they have outside talking about detox, detox, detox. I am not saying they don't work, but I could speak about what I know. And based on the principles and the understanding and the experience that I have over the years. Miss Pamela Moses, a pleasant good night to you, my dear. Yeah. So you're understanding that it is important to do things in a particular way. There is always a way to do things, you know, in any aspect of or any profession. That's why it's called professionals. So attorneys have a way that they do things. They have associations, you have medical associations, you have engineering associations, because there are particular language and lingo and a particular way to do things. Accountants, that's why they have ACCA and all these things, right? So even in medicine, you have certain protocols, even in integrative medicine, more protocols than, because I am very careful as regards to what I recommend for persons. Zai Chambers is saying, what exactly is Santulan? Good night. So Santulan is a tea. It comes in a pack that's maybe about like the palm of my hand. It has 3 tea bags in it. And what it is designed to do is basically designed to clean and detoxify the 7 channels of elimination. What are your 7 channels of elimination? Your kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Those are your 7 channels of elimination. Again, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Very easy to use. The good thing about Santulan, you could actually use Santulan and work. I'll give you an example. So what you will get is that the tea bag, the 3 tea bags will make a bottle of tea almost this bottle full. This bottle is 5 liters. What you really get is 4 liters, or that's the recommended amount. So it will be like about up to here, so, right? And you put that in your refrigerator, and you would drink it once a day on an empty stomach. An empty stomach is either an hour before or about 2.5 to 3 hours after a meal. And what you do with that Santulan is you drink it around 5 p.m. Why we tell you 5 p.m.? Here why you could use it 5 p.m. You can drink it 5 p.m., which is an hour before your dinner. We are assuming that you're having dinner at 6 or maybe 7 o'clock. So you could use it 6 o'clock as well. So it has to be an hour before your dinner. And we would recommend you either drink 8 ounces, 12 ounces, or 16 ounces. But it depends. If you're real big and you have some weight to lose, then 16 ounces. If you're not so big and you just want to get rid of some tires, that kind of thing, maybe a 12 ounce, that kind of thing. But we would recommend it based on the consultation or the advice that you get from our front desk staff, or front desk colleagues rather. Good? And that is what it does. Now the thing is, when you drink the Santulan, it will give you a bowel movement anywhere between 6 to 8 to 10 hours after you drink it. So if you drink it 5 o'clock, 6 hours added to 5 is what? You'll get a bowel movement 11. If you get a bowel movement 8 hours after that, it will carry you to about 1 o'clock. If you get it 10 hours, it will carry you to 3 o'clock. All of those times going with the assumption that you are at home. Most of the time, people in the bed. If you work shift, then you just adjust it accordingly. But it is a very customer-friendly product. It is very easy to use, hence why it is such an in-demand product. Good? So you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. We are discussing hormonal disruption in women. We have just, we're going for an hour tonight. So keep in mind if you have any questions. So I hope Zai Chambers, I was able to answer your question. And that product is available at all of our offices. We usually recommend it with the Alkagen water. And the reason for that is not just to decide to sell you water, because people think you're always trying to sell them something, right? And I mean, rightfully so. You need to be on your guard now for persons. But the point is, yes, Zai Chambers, we have Santulan at all of our locations. The St. James branch in Red Edge Mall has that product. Yeah. So the water, the Alkagen water, why we tell you to drink the water while you're using the tea is that it simply amplifies or increases the tea's ability to detoxify your body. How so? Now remember, 70% of the human body is water, right? So if 70% of the body is water, it means that if you put healthy water in your body while you're taking a cleanse, you can imagine what your skin is going to look like. You can imagine what your hair is going to look like. You can imagine what your fingernails will look like. Because those are normally markers that tell you how healthy an individual is. Look at the white of your eye. And that's why I tell persons, do the mirror test. Look at yourself. Some people, I feel they don't look at themselves, honest to God. I remember dealing with someone recently, and I pointed out to them, I said, do you work in the sun? It was a male. He said, no. I said, so why is your face so dark as compared to the rest of your body? And he said, you know, I always find that so, but that happened, that going on years now. I just thought it's a skin problem. I said, no. I said, you have really bad circulation. And that's what it was. The person had horrible circulation. I also experienced it with stroke patients. A lot of people, before they get strokes, the side of your temple is very dark, your forehead is very dark, under your eye is very black. Listen to me, if you're seeing that, something is wrong with you. You are a walking stroke patient. Walking. It's just a matter of time. And I say that in no way to be condescending, in no way to be facetious, in no way to be rude, but simply someone who points out and states facts as they are. Facts. Just like the diabetics, by the instep gets very black, by the toe get very black, by the ankles get very black. And that is an indication that the cells and the circulation is poor and they get in neuropathy and the nerves are dying. The same applies to your face. You notice a lot of hypertensive people, the side of the temples usually tend to be very black. You all ever observe that? Look at anyone who gets strokes. Your face, black. When people die from strokes, usually when they bury them, or unless they embalm you, you blacken or you look dark, 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 dark in that box. You know why you look so dark? Because the circulation. Now, you think when you die, your body has a certain time before certain things start to happen to it. But if you have poor circulation and you die, your body is going to be darker than the average person, especially your face. That's why people, you find their face tends to be very black, dark. That's the cells dying. That's an indication of poor circulation. Blurred vision, poor circulation, numbness in your toes. Your hands start to cramp up and folding on your calf, your finger can't point straight and bend and them kind of foolishness. That is inflammation, chronic inflammation in the body. And those are the things that we deal with and address at Batson Associates. So, of course, feel free to give us a call or visit. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Menstrual, Shogunas. We also in Debe. Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. We actually have some plans for Debe. I know there was something that we had planned. We have to change. Because we actually have to move accordingly. So we have to change some dates as regards to some things. But, you know, make it a date. Don't be late, as one of my good associates always say. And come, get a consultation. Find out about yourself. Keep in mind those open clinic days that we have for Debe, the 27th and the 28th of September, as well as Shogunas is the 17th and the 18th. So that's tomorrow and Wednesday. I will actually be in Shoguna's office those days to actually facilitate a lot of the consultations, that we're going to have. So take advantage of that, whether your problem is diabetes, hypertension, kidney problems. And, you know, I always appeal to persons out there, especially hypertensive persons, to take care of yourself. The problem with most people is that they don't deal with themselves until it is taken away from them. A lot of people, you tell them, I saw someone this week and I was upset with them because I said, why? Because they said they didn't understand how they got a stroke. And I said, how you didn't understand how you get a stroke? You have uncontrollable hypertension. You wasn't taking care of yourself. What do you expect to happen? Not that you're going to get a stroke. Obviously. That makes sense, doesn't it? So those are things that you have to pay very, very close attention to. You need to mind your business, check your numbers. You're regularly supposed to do your blood pressure readings. You're supposed to test your blood pressure every day if you are hypertensive. If that people have high blood pressure and you're just taking medication, are you mad? Who does do that? You have diabetes and you're just taking medication and telling me foolishness that you know how it is feel? That is why you have the people machine. Use it. Use it. You can only manage what you measure. And you can only correct what you measure. So it is obvious that if you're not paying attention to your blood pressure, you're not testing your figures and volume, but you know how it went. No, you're talking nonsense. Test it, write it down. Get a proper notebook, a nice notepad, or a nice hardcover notebook, and keep your numbers in there. People don't understand. It is not your doctor's job to do everything for you. That's the problem with our next set earlier. All I feel the doctor had to do everything for you. Like I told someone who came to me the other day, when I gave her the stuff, she said, all of this I have to take. I said, listen to me. You are the sick one. You know? So because you're sick, you have to understand that you're sick. And you have to understand what you need to do to get better. I always tell people that. You know, there's a saying the old people have. What good for the sick, better for the well? What I mean? They say what good for the sick, better for the well. It means it is always better to be proactive. It's always better. Why would you wait for you to get a stroke? You know you have bad blood pressure. And you know it's the shameful thing with some of you. You don't even have a recent test you do. It has some people ask them, when was the last time you went to the doctor and do a blood test? I don't go to the doctor. I was feeling good. So you hypertensive for years and walking around saying you're feeling good, and then you get a stroke, And when you come to me now and I asking you, what was the last test you do? You tell me you didn't go to the doctor for years because you're feeling good. You didn't see you ought to be out of your mind. You want a proper cocktail. Proper cocktail. Because you was not minding your business. And men, you all had to pay attention to yourself with this. The hype, the people who ended up on dialysis. If you used to do the ratio of persons on dialysis now, men to women, it's more men now, no? Because men do not take care of themselves. You all have this stupid dotish mentality that you figure because you're a man, you're macho and you're this and you're that and you can't fall long. That's why women outlive us. Because women just always go and mind the business. Always. If a woman head hurt, she the next day she by the doctor. A man, your head hurt, you're talking stupidness about gas. This time is a stroke you get. You see, you want to be out of your mind? We have to take better care of ourselves. You have to mind your business. You have to monitor your numbers. Don't talk no foolishness. When you imagine you go to the doctor and telling the doctor your blood pressure reading good. Where is your evidence? Where your evidence? I am going to tell you where is the notebook where I was testing your pressure to show me that, listen to me, is only when I come in the office my pressure is go high. But when I home and I test my pressure, it's reading good. You have to have the information for the doctor. You have to. We don't work blind. I most certainly do not work blind. Don't come and ask me to do that. We'll have a problem. You'll have to go somewhere else. I'm not working blind. You have to come and do the blood analysis, the magnetic resonance analysis scan, and do the consultation. If you have an issue with that, no problem. God bless you. It have other places that you can check. Because you're not going to tell people that I didn't do my work properly. I ain't going through that. Very, very important. Okay, Miss Ruby Sami, sorry. She says, good night, Dr. Batson. Miss Marsha Joseph, a pleasant good night to you. Miss Regina Murray. She says, but the pressure machine store your numbers, Dr. Batson. No, Mary. No, Miss Murray. You're behaving like a Mary. Mary's women who do not listen. No, don't talk about machine storing nothing. When you come by me, you expect me to go through your machine? No, man. If you're in school or what? You need to have it written down so when I look at it at a glance, I could see and understand what it is I am reading. Your machine reading is for you, not for the doctor. Right, Miss Murray? Nice. Respectfully, yeah? Don't forget about buffing up. Right, Sandy says, thank you for opening my eyes. I'm glad for that. Miss Angelica, sorry, Craig, she says, Dr. Batson, I have a male friend. What causes swollen feet? Poor circulation. Your feet swelling up? Poor circulation. And let me tell you something with that. People who have that poor circulation issue and those swollen feet, the longer you leave that is the way that you are. Regina say, okay, right, yeah. So that was telling you, I'm not buffing you, right, darling? But that is something that you need to do. Your blood sugar reading, same thing. Write it down. You see, what you have to understand, and that's why I tell people I'm very thorough. I will give you an example why it is important to know your figures. I'll tell you exactly why I say that and why I just behave so terrible where that is concerned. Alison Bridgelal, blessed night all. Blessed night to you, my dear. Let me explain something to you. You all know what is glaucoma? Anybody? You all know what glaucoma is? All right, let me help you out. So glaucoma is a disease that is categorized with high ocular pressure. So just like how you just test the pressure in the human body, you have something known as ocular pressure, which is your eyes, right? Now, there are two types of glaucoma. So let me tell you how it is important to mind your business. There is open angle glaucoma and there's closed angle glaucoma. Do you know that there are people out there who have glaucoma? They don't even know what type of glaucoma they have. That's one. Mistake number one. They do not know what is glaucoma. So you sick and you don't know what you have. And next nonsense people is do too as well is you're taking medication and you don't know what you're taking. Who does do that? So you're taking medication and when people ask you what you're taking, doc, a pink one, a blue one, a red one, that could be Skittles. What you're taking. Know what you're taking. Know the name of the medication. Do some research. Instead of going on Facebook and minding people's business or doing things on social media that you're not supposed to be doing, go and do some research so you know what you're taking, right? So let me tell you why. I met someone who had glaucoma. She came to me, she said, I was recommended to you by The first question I asked her, I said, what was the last time you checked the pressure in your eyes? How much was the pressure? You know what she told me? The doctor told her it was good. I said, maybe the doctor told her it was good. She said he told her it was good. I say, the time before that, she said she don't know. He told her it was good. All I hear the nonsense? When you go to doctors, especially when you pay your money, get a report, get a piece of paper. Any doctor who you go to who doesn't want to give you a piece of paper, then you should not go to that doctor. Because I have seen this in my experience. Because when she came to me, Donna Howell says glaucoma can cause blindness. Yes, because when she came to me, she was blind in the left eye already. And the reason why she went blind is because she was not minding her business. And I told her that. And she was upset. And I could have cared less. Because she came for me to help her with the other eye, which we did. We helped her with the other eye. She was able to keep the eye. But why she lost her eyes is because she was not minding her business. And that is what I'm saying to you. If you have glaucoma, it don't take 100 hours to go by an optician. You could go any one of them optician places. I don't want to call the name, pull a phone book or pull a directory or go on Facebook or something. You must find them. And went to the optician. And when you go to the optical place, ask them to test the pressure in your eyes. And get a little book and write it down. Write down the right eye, write down the left eye. Do not wait for the government clinic, which takes 6 months and a year to check your eyes. Are you mad? So you suffering from glaucoma, which is a condition that could cause instant blindness if the pressure in your eye is increased and you're not checking your pressure? And tell me about the clinic taking a year to test your pressure? No. It's cost about $20 if so much to test the pressure in your eye. And that is why I tell you and I advise you to mind your business. The problem with people, I am not your regular type of doctor, you know, in case you didn't realize that yet. And I doesn't care who vex, who please, or indifferent. That's the business. I'm not in your place. I'm talking to you for your own good. Mind your business. If you have glaucoma, keep a little book, a little journal, and write down your figures inside of there. Do not wait for the government clinic, which is going to take 6 months, or you're going to a specialist, and the specialist tell you 3 months, and they give you. No. Every week, 2 weeks, or every 2 weeks to a month, go and test your pressure and write it down. You know why? When you bring that book to me, I could look at the book now, and I could tell you when inflammation was high, when inflammation was low, and that type of thing. Information is very important, especially when you're dealing with a good doctor. See them rest of them who just tell you a thing and they don't want to see this and see that. You go, I know a woman went by a doctor and do an ultrasound, and all he do is give her the films. Where is the report? You must have a report. All sonographers are trained to write reports. The thing is, he could do the ultrasound, but he doesn't know how to write the report. So why would you go to somebody? Somebody came to me the other day. I told her, I said, you need an ultrasound. An abdominopelvic ultrasound that is less than a year old. She telling me the last ultrasound she had was in the hospital and she didn't do it. I said, Miss Lady, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. You came to a place to get help. If you have a fibroid that's 6 inches big, the first ultrasound said 6 inches big, and I put you on a protocol for 3 months, you spend your hard-earned money. I put you on a protocol, you went on a diet for 3 months. It is obvious you'll have to go back and do the ultrasound for us to compare the first ultrasound to the second one. Not so? Come on, man. Common sense may be for book. And that is why it is important to keep and maintain your records. Do not let anybody fool you with that nonsense. You have hypertension, test your pressure and write it down in a book every day. Forget the machine. We know the machine have memory. You think when you come by me, I'm going to go through any memory on any machine? You're going off forward. I don't have time for that. Have it written down properly so that we're able to help you, and it is there for your information. You're not doing this for Dr. Batson. You're doing this for yourself. And yes, I'm buffing all here. That is a buff. Because I've seen people, just like that woman, lose her eyesight. I know of people who have gotten strokes because they wasn't monitoring their blood pressure. Do not do yourself that. Because if you have to go and lie down in the government hospital, you know how that is. And unless it is you have plenty money and you could go in the nursing home. And still, if you have plenty money and you go in the nursing home, when push comes to shove, water more than flour, they send you right back in the government hospital. So don't play stupid. It ain't taking nothing to write down your figures. It's your blood pressure. It's not your sister own. It's not your mother own. It's not your cousin own. It's your own. Write it down. Good? Nice. Keep in mind those telephone numbers again and location. Keep in mind our open clinic day. Good afternoon, Miss Valentine. Yes, I'm behaving a little bad tonight. How are you? Hope all is well, Miss Valentine. You need to give me a message. I tried to call you. It was sometime last week because I know there's something I need to review for your son. All right? So message me now, please. I spoke to Miss Ramdan. If there's anything, we could talk to you tomorrow, please, God. Okay, Miss Rosemary Bishop, she says, Dr. Batson, what is a good range for the pressure in your eyes? Good question. The pressure in your eyes could go anywhere between 10 to 15. 10 to 15 is a good range. You don't want to be more than 15. Usually you're not under 10. Right? Kareem says Zion, Zion fire. I hear you, boss, man. Kareem Faria. Denise Hurst, good night from AG. Where AG is again, girl? Oh, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, good, right. Regina Murray says, could you inherit glaucoma if both parents have it? My eye doctor, she sent me to get a field test done, and she said I have a small cataract, but nothing to worry. In all honesty, I would say no. The thing is, you have genetic predispositions to a lot of things, but these diseases are lifestyle diseases. It has to do with your lifestyle, what you're doing and what you're not doing. So you find a lot of the times, persons who have issues with glaucoma, they will tell you, okay, is it that you have a history of glaucoma in your family? I have a history of glaucoma in my family. I don't have any glaucoma. Because I take care of myself. There are certain things. There are things that you could take to prevent you from getting glaucoma, you know. There are things that you could use to prevent you from getting diabetes, you know. There are things that you could use to prevent you from getting hypertension, you know. But it requires a proper lifestyle. And the problem with some of us is that we just too blame greedy. You're greedy, you're licorice, you're cravicious. Everything you see that called food, you want to push it in your mouth. And that is a bad habit. You go through a little tabanca, yes, oh God, but how much ice cream you go eat? How much? So as regards to that, it means now that it is a situation where you need to mind your business. And that is what I want you to get from this. Mind your business. Monitor your pressure. There are people, you have high blood pressure, you don't test your pressure, you're taking medication. That's some of them worse. You have high blood pressure, you're not testing the pressure, and you're not taking the people medication. You see, you mad? And then you're going to come by me, you know, and ask me or tell me you find Santulan is too much money or Alkagen water is too much money. Then go somewhere else. Take yourself somewhere else. Because if you are in a state where you get, you know what, I talked to someone this weekend who got a stroke, and you know what I told them? I gave them a rude awakening. I said, let me tell you something. Say, oh, I was good. I say, it wasn't good. You wasn't good at damn all. Because good people or healthy people don't get strokes. If you get a stroke, it means that you are very, 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 very sick. What stupidness you telling me about you're good? You mad? And that's the problem with a lot of y'all. That's why the doctors and them just do all kind of madness somehow. The delinquent ones. You know why? They know they don't care. So they don't care about all themselves, so they have a right not to care about all it. Mind your business. Test your pressure, test your blood sugar, and write it down every day. When you reach a point and you're monitoring and you're taking care of yourself and you're doing certain things, then you can check like every 2 days or every 3 days. But you can't be doing nothing, eating all you want, you're getting bigger and fatter every day, you're just putting on more size, you exercise, you're just sitting down and watching TV, you sit down and you're just getting big in the place, and you're not testing nothing. Where you feel it is. And then you want to come now to stress out doctors? No, don't work so. Not Dr. Batson. Not me. I learn, you know, as it is. Plain talk, bad manners. Okay? Yes, Miss Valentine, no problem. We'll talk. Miss Pionkowski, a pleasant good evening to you, my dear. Miss Regina Murray, she says they did check the pressure of the eyes and also took pics and they were good. Okay, so if they test the pressure in the eyes, How much was it? You remember? Because the thing is, they just tell you good, but you have to know the figure. So what figure they tell you? That's my question to you. All right, Miss Rhoda Harrier, I'm pronouncing it properly. She says, good night, Dr. Batson and everyone. I am one of your clients and I've started using the female balance by the Now brand. However, I recognize that one of the ingredients is maltodextrin. Yeah. Now, the thing is, maltodextrin is something that is used in a lot of supplements. The thing is, the argument is that the amount that it has is very little bit and that type of thing. I personally, I don't have too much experience with that product. I know the brand is good. That brand now they have some good stuff. Because I do use some of their products. I do recommend some of the products for my clients as well. So the maltodextrin is something that they use in a lot of supplements. If it is you really, really have an issue with it, well, then I don't want you to go against, because you know it's a mental thing. But I don't think it should cause any issue, all honesty. The products that we use, we have a product called Women's Formula. Women's Formula is a very good product. It doesn't have that in it. But, you know, I tend to be more natural and efficacious as regards to the products that I would use, especially that Equilibrium brand, the Prostate Formula, the Nerve Restore. These are a real good product. I swear by this product. It's really, really, really good. It helps with mental health. It helps with mental clarity. The problem with a lot of people is that they don't understand, just like how they take very good care of their expensive cars and take care of your expensive house or take care of your furniture and whatever you buy, which you take your hard-earned money and buy, you need to take care of yourself. It are people who don't put anything inside of their body, nothing. They don't even take a detox. They don't even drink water. And when you get sick, you're watching everybody like you have no right to get sick. You look for that. You can only reap what you sow. You can't sow watermelon and get pepper. Right? That'll happen. You can't plant callaloo bush and get bhaji. Right? You can only reap what you sow. So if that is the case, then sow something with some kind of sense. Do a detox. Get some of the alkagen water. If you have problems sleeping, I guarantee you, once you listen to what we tell you to do, we're going to fix that sleep for you. I tell you so. Okay? Leslie Ann Puancom, she says, foolishness, your health is your biggest wealth and products are very affordable. Yes, my friend, I totally agree with you. Miss Carol Stoll says, good night, Dr. Batson. Is hiccup natural in heart problems? Carol Stewart, look at how you type that question. I'm trying to understand what you're telling me there. Check it again and write it over for me there. Miss Wendy Andrew says, true talk, Dr. Batson. Rhoda Herrera says, good night, Dr. Batson and everyone. I am one. Okay, right. I went over that. I recognize that one is not recommended for pre-diabetics. Okay, let me see. Okay, good night, Dr. Batson, everyone. I am one of your clients and I've started using, the female balance, by Now brand. However, I recognize that one, it is not recommended for pre-diabetics. Oh, so you're saying that you're pre-diabetic. Oh, she says, okay, great, thank you. I'm having no problem using it as long as it wouldn't negatively affect you. Yeah, that wouldn't affect you because, as I said, maltodextrin is something that is used. I mean, it has some people have issue with it, but it's the amount that it is in, it wouldn't really cause a problem, in all honesty. Okay. Miss Pamela Moses says, Doc is Swedish, bitter is good for you. Is excellent, 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 excellent. That's something I actually used to bring, and I always said that I promised to start back bringing it again. Really, really good product. All right, Rhoda Herrera says, okay, great, thanks. All right, good, yeah, I covered that. Miss Janice Hampton, she said, hello, Dr. Batson and team. Miss Angela Superville says, good night, Dr. Batson, blessings, thank you. Brigalia Boy says, Dr. Batson, pleasant good night. I started the liquid chlorophyll, helps in building one's blood count, but should taking it cause you to lose weight? The thing is, chlorophyll does have natural detoxification processes, or no, let me say that over. Chlorophyll has natural detoxifying properties rather. So in detoxifying someone, you can lose weight, but the weight that you lose would be weight that you're not supposed to have. So it would help you lose like maybe like visceral fat to some extent. It does detoxify the body, so it will help you like lose some weight, but it wouldn't be substantial amount of weight. Is it that you find that you're losing a lot of weight with it, Miss Boyce, or it's just you're asking a general question? You could always let me know. Miss Donna Howell says, Dr. Batson, can you speak on brachycardia? Okay, I'll get in there in a little bit. Rishma Mary Marad, she says, you better save for me. All minds ripe up. Okay, I hear you. Miss Rosalind Noel, she says, good night. Dr. Batson and everyone else viewing from Grenada, boy, the Spice Isle. I really enjoy listening to your program. It's very informative. Because of the program, I'm doing better with my health. Good. I'm very glad to hear that. And we very soon will be coming to Grenada. We'll be doing some business with you guys. I actually had some people in Grenada reach out to us. We're just doing some work on our platforms right now so that we'll be able to really address and deal with individuals in those countries. Very soon, you guys will be getting a lot of stuff from us as regards to how you can access the products and services that we offer, regardless of whichever part of the world that you're in. Okay? A lot of good news, a lot of great things coming. Zai Chambers says, will Santulan cause weight loss? I don't need to lose any. Ah, glad you talk about that. Let me explain something to all the slim people who find it too maga. Right? So this is all the people who think you're too maga. Because you know in Trinidad, when you lose a little bit of weight, you're done this telly, you're looking like you have, you know, like something wrong with you. Like you get, what is call it? You hara. That's what it is called it. Let me explain something to you. If you are very skinny or you're slim or you have a problem putting on weight, the possibility exists that your problem is that you need a cleanse. Because most people who have problems with weight challenges. Now, there are some persons who have different body types. You have endomorphs, ectomorphs, that type of thing. Very high metabolism. I have a high metabolism. And I wanted to stay like that till the day I die. So in order for me to put on weight, I have to do a lot of foolishness. But there are a lot of things I don't eat. I don't really interfere too much with sugar and those type of things. And sugar has a tendency to make you put on weight. That's why bread is something, if it is your 1 6-pack and thing, you have to watch how much bread you eat, because bread is something that naturally causes you to put on weight because of the sugar content of the bread. Because people don't understand, a lot of baked goods have a lot of sugar in it. Okay? So what I'm saying to you, Zai, the possibility exists that you could have some parasites and pathogens in there, which you will need to use the Santulan to help you clean it out so that you could now put on weight. She says, well, my weight was 185 as of February, but now I'm 158. And you lose that weight doing what? Exercising. You went on a different diet. What happened to you? You had a tabanka? What went on for you to lose that weight? A joke I'm making, eh? Yeah. But what you did, because there's a lot of weight loss. So was it deliberate? Right? Because you could have excessive weight loss and actually have a thyroid problem, you know? Because you know, hypothyroidism or low thyroid function can actually cause you to actually put on weight, or hyperthyroidism can actually cause you to lose weight, right? Excessive weight. So it could be adrenal fatigue. It could be a number of things that could contribute to weight loss. All right, Ms. Carol so says, good night, Dr. Batson. Is hiccup natural in a person who has heart problems? Actually, yes. Hiccups are referred to as bronchospasms. If you're having a situation with your heart, where especially if you're having some pulmonary issue, it can cause you to have hiccups. But if you're having persistent hiccups, it could be an indication between the lungs and the heart kind of situation. So if that is the case, you should seek medical attention immediately. It could also be an indication with persons where they actually have water gathering in the lungs. So that's something that you should seriously check out. Okay? Rosalind Noel says, please let me know when, because I would like to buy a few things. No problem. Miss Noel, I will make sure and keep that noted for you. Miss Carol says, so good night. Right, I covered that. I covered that. Right. Brachycardia. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because of the timing, and you know, in terms of that situation, so I'm going to touch on brachycardia in the next program, because that will require a lot of explanation in going in there. So, you know, with that whole brachycardia situation, what I could say, it is an imbalance of the cardiovascular system. a lot of individuals who have problems associated with, let me give you an example. So people who have like panic attacks or who experience various forms of anxiety, a lot of the time you find that in those instances, it has a lot to do with your central nervous system. Now, remember what I was saying, I said that your central nervous system usually is a very difficult system to fix. It is not impossible, but it requires some work. It's just like people with poor circulation. You know, you're starting to get tingling in your feet, pins and needles. If you are diabetic for years, you literally rotting in some instances. I don't mean to be mean or say it in that way, but it's the truth. Diabetes is not something to play with. I always tell persons that diabetes is, when you have diabetes, you're like a block of ice in the sun. You're just waiting to melt, right? So it is an indication of serious issue, and it needs to be addressed. So, you know, with that being said, check out our open clinic days. Tomorrow is a good day in the Shoguna's office. You do not necessarily have to have an appointment. You could reach out to us on 314-9975. That's 314-9975 or 222-8261 if you want an appointment for tomorrow, please God, as well as Wednesday. I'll actually be doing some open clinic days on those days. In Debe as well, and St. James for the 27th and the 28th of September. So you could also take advantage of that. So you can check that out, whether you're suffering from hypertension, diabetes, insomnia. Also check out our integrative diabetic clinic, our integrative musculoskeletal clinic. So all the arthritis people, the MS people, people with osteoporosis, all those type of things, you're going to get some really good help in those clinics, as well as the cardiovascular, the integrative cardiovascular clinic. Okay, guys? Miss Carol Stewart says, thank you. Thank you, my mom. She had heart problem. Can you help her, or should she see? Definitely we can help her. What I would recommend, Miss Stewart, wherever your mom is you could set her up for that test that we do. That package, that 3-in-1 package with the live blood, the dry blood analysis, the magnetic resonance analysis scan, which is a non-invasive scan that sends weak magnetic waves through the body. If you understand anatomy and physiology and understand the vital body, your all cells in the body have frequency. Anybody who doesn't know that, they need to go back to school. There's frequency and vibration in every particle of matter. Every part or every aspect of matter or type of matter has frequency. So your cells have frequency, and the cells resonate at different frequencies. So it actually gives us an ability to do those things. No, we do not have any, well, you need to set up an office in the East. Girl, I need to set up office all over the place. And eventually that's going to happen, you know, but Dr. Batson cannot see everyone. I have a protocol that I have mastered and that I have helped people to understand, and I have a system in place. You can't be doing something for 15 years and not be able to put a system in place, really. Right? After dealing with all our years of experience and dealing with all those people, nah, man. Right? So it's a matter of helping you guys to get. So the closest office would be Shoguna's or St. James. Trinidad is a small place, man. We have one airport. When all you go away, always complain. And I'm not being bashful to anyone here. I'm just making a point. Yeah, when you're going to the airport, regardless which part of the country you live in, you have to go Piaco to go out to the country, right? Would you say that you're not going? Of course not. So take some time, make your appointment, drive down the road and come and take care of yourself, right? Good. That people just leave different country. I had a lady last week from Grenada was here. The week before that, we had a number of people from the United States, New York, Florida, all about. Because they want to get better. So with that being said, it's always a pleasure to be in your company, guys. I am taking my leave now. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. Keep in mind our new office, the Londonville office, where those integrative clinics will be housed. And that number for Londonville, you can call us on the cell phone or WhatsApp us on 396, that's 396-6939. 396-6936, sorry, my apologies. So it's 396-6936. There's a real 3 and 9 and 6 in here, boy. Okay, and keep in mind again those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We also in Debe. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. as well as Shogunas. Shogunas is the Money Talks building, first floor, upstairs, Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. Okay. Bragiela Boyce, she says, Miss Boyce rather says, Dr. Batson, I normally eat twice a day, breakfast 10 a.m., other meal 4 p.m. Did a thyroid test today, but awaiting results. Okay. All right, good. I'm glad to hear the thyroid test. Yeah. But we can help you with that. But I find that is, unless you didn't do anything regarding that, you have to be careful. There's a lot of weight to lose within a short space of time. It could also have some things to pre-diabetic too, but you know, we could help you, and if you want to help you, let me know. Miss Anne-Marie Seeley, she says, when next are you coming to Tobago? I should be coming to Tobago, God's willing, by the end of the month. Tobago, we're doing some things in Tobago. Tobago are a little challenging right now in terms of our dynamics with, you know, we just dotting our I's and crossing our T's as regards the people working over there, because it's only Latoya and the other girl there for now, but we're going to have more consultants. I'm trying to get you all to see the consultants. One of the things I'm also doing with Tobago is going to start to get some online consultations. I put a system in place and I bought some equipment to put in those Tobago offices so that you'll be able to see me on a very big screen, because not all of the time it is going to make it easy for me to come to Tobago. Yeah, the last time I wasn't able to come to Tobago because of that. I had something that came up, and yeah, what I could do, we have your consultants who are going to run through everything. I do a remote digital consultation for you. We live in the modern world now. The doctor doesn't have to be in front of you. I don't have to take blood from you all. I don't have to perform any surgery. I don't need to examine you. So I don't need to be in that room. I'm just saying. Because I believe when people are sick and they need help, they need to get help as fast as possible. Proper health. Okay, a pleasant good night to Miss Donna Howell, Miss Ruby Sammy, as well as Miss Pionkowski, Miss Anne-Marie Seeley, my dear. The telephone number for Tobago, I don't know if you have it. Let me just put it here for you. Right, that's at the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. And the telephone numbers are there, 226-4553, as well as 312-4248. You could speak to Latoya, and she would let you know. Okay. I have a lot of clients in Tobago. I've seen people in Tobago got a lot of good results, but because of my work schedule now and the amount of people who need help, we have to help them, right? So take advantage of the consultants, take advantage of the system and the protocol that we have in place. I have people who came to my office, I have never seen them, and they're clients for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, and they're fully satisfied with the service that we give them, and they never saw me. All right, so it's important. So let's take care of ourselves, as we always say at Batson and Associates. If you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Check out those products. Our Santulan, that 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxify kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Very easy to use. Check out the Alkagen water, or premium alkaline water, that assists with a number of different health challenges in the body. Also pay very close attention to the Nerve Restore, great product, prostate formula, women's formula, those of you who have problems with your menstrual cycle, period pain, those of you who have issues with menopause issues, check it out. Okay, Miss Mary Elizabeth said, Dr. Batson, thank you so much. God bless you and all listening. We appreciate you any and all the time. Thank you so very much for that. Miss Anne-Marie Seeley, she says, thank you, my dear. You're very welcome, Miss Anne-Marie. So guys, take care of yourself. And as I said before, as we always say at Batson and Associates, remember, if you think health expensive all year, try sickness. It don't pay to get sick in this place. If you are to go and lie down for them to open your bus, open your chest through triple bypass, why you want to put yourself through that? When it have thing, you could take inflammation formula, you could take a little Santulan, a little clean out, and keep yourself young. Men, take care of yourself. The fastest thing, if you want to sell men something, tell them it's good for the boy or the gun or the private part. They're running and buy it. Santulan, in order for you to get a proper erection as a man, you need to have proper blood circulation. Is blood this full up? That piece of equipment there, no? Nothing else. Blood. So if you don't have healthy blood, clean blood, then you can have a healthy, proper erection. Makes sense, right? So ladies, Get the Santulan for your husband too. Give him a clean out. Then after that, he could use the prostate formula. He could use the male T. He could use the male balance. But you have to cleanse and detoxify the body. So check that out. Take care, guys. God bless. And do enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. Take care, guys. No, Monday night. Sorry, I rushed in the week going on with me. Take care, guys. God bless.